Good day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm starting back my podcast again, Soul to Soul Connections with Jeni Ji. I took a little break from it because I had a lot of other things I was working on, but now it's back up. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and my podcast to get these interviews, more video content, and my weekly series, Cosmic Vibes, of course, on my YouTube channel, Jeni Ji Cousins. If you would like to book a private clairvoyant reading with me, by all means, go to my new website, soulworkwithjenij.com. There's a lot coming on that with classes and so on. So make sure you do that. And before we begin as well, if you have an interesting story or a story that you feel that could inspire others or a certain circumstances that you would like to talk to, make sure you send me a message and tell me your story. The best way is to send me an email through my website, soulworkwithjenij.com. And you never know, we might have you right here on the show and I will be chatting with you. So now let's start off the show here. Today's guest, by far, his resume, it would take me hours just to go over everything and experience and knowledge that actually my dear friend Aage Nost has to share with you all. He has a website called Broadcast Team Alpha. Now make sure you go check that out because it has a lot of content there. Aage has a show and does interviews. Wait until you see what's on that website. So we're going to chat with him today about how we can manifest and create our future. And just before, I'm just going to highlight just a couple of things about Aage from his resume. Of course, as I mentioned, it would take me days to go over it. So Aage had obtained his pilot license certificates and ratings, commercial pilot license with an instrument rating. He goes way back into flying in many different ways. He has books written. He's also co-wrote a book with author Patricia Reese of Omaha called Alien Encounters in America's Midwest. He also hosted a live call-in radio show on KTKT Radio on Tucson, Arizona. It was dealing with the holistic care, healthcare system, oxygen, and body nutrition as a way to stay healthy. He also hosted and produced a live television talk show called Hidden Truths in Tucson, Arizona. It featured the paranormal, UFO, controversial political issues, government cover-ups, and so much more. He was also host of a TV newscast called Access News. He also had managed a radio station in Tucson, KRVL. He was presented at the International Film Festival, Making Waves. He was interviewed by the BBC television in England for a TV documentary titled The Time Trip or Time Trip. Now, he has been featured on many shows and interviews himself. As I mentioned, I could go on for days going over that. So make sure you check out his book that he has written as well. You will find that on Broadcast Team Alpha website, Universal Success Principles and How Billionaires Think. He has a video documentary under the brand name Firewalkers Open Files, Volume 6, featuring UFO alien presence and so on. So before I go on and on and on with his resume, thank you, Aage, for coming on. It's always a pleasure. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I got coffee, so life is good.
You have your Broadcast Team Alpha mug, I see.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's our own. Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to buy the mug, they could get it through your website, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. And yeah, saying that actually, this coming Saturday, and guess what? That's tomorrow. We're gonna do a little thing on get people together, but we're calling it Coffee with Aage. So anybody who wants to come with a cup of coffee, then we are gonna take questions and we're gonna discuss important and far out things and just have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I like it because it's a group where you can actually talk about anything you want.
yeah, go look at my Facebook page and you'll see it's going to be tomorrow at, I think it's 10 o'clock, I think we decided, in the Pacific time.
Pacific time, 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow.
Yeah,
So okay. So the video won't come out by tomorrow. But you will have different links on your website and
yeah,
on Facebook
yeah,
anyways, for different groups and
yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be every Saturday, so that
Okay.
sometime later, then that'll be good.
Okay. Okay. No, that's awesome. That's amazing. There's some people that are like, where do I go? And I'd like to belong to different groups and such. Like I have a like Soul Work of Jeni Ji group on Facebook as well.
Mhm.
That I'm going to be expanding a little bit more. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, so let's talk about how we can manifest, the future and create what we truly want to do. So, how do you manifest, Augie? Like, what's the best way for you to manifest? Manifest.
Well, it is kind of important to think more about this than what people normally do, because there is a lot of people hurting these days. There is misery out there all over the place, especially in the United States. People keep coming here because of an old rumor that everybody is wealthy and that'll help you. It's not that way anymore. So now we need to take care of ourselves. We cannot trust government to do much anymore.
No.
But once we start thinking that maybe I can have something better, that's the first step. Accept that we can have something better. Because a lot of people that just go through the day, do the same as yesterday. And if you don't think about anything different or do anything different, you're going to have what you had yesterday.
Mhm.
We got to start thinking new. And that comes first with decided, what do you want? A lot of people don't even know that.
Mhm.
So, what prayer or manifestation? uh, what use is it if you don't even know what you want? We gotta know what we want. And then when we take that concept that we come up with, we start putting details in it so it becomes like a colorful picture for you. And guess what? The universal mind will help you create it. So now we take that little ball of energy that we have created in our mind. Okay, I pointed to the head and the heart. We have two brains, one in the cranium and one in the heart. The one in the heart is responsible for, it's about 55,000 neurons that is responsible for emotion, which is a big part of the universal spiritual language. We have to communicate with the universal mind in a language it understands. And that is not one of words.
Mhm.
You know, the church will tell you what to say, but they don't tell you how to say it.
Mhm.
I mean, it told you that you need use the spiritual language is one of emotion, vivid, colorful images, feeling, intention, and feed it with love. Once you start realizing that this is all possible, and then think about what you have created for yourself in your mind that you want. See yourself already with it, having it, doing it, being it. Know, see yourself in it, having it. And then love the feeling you get from having it. Feed emotion into it, a feeling. and know that I'm going to do this. That is intention.
Mhm.
And once you start doing these things, you create something in your mind that it's multidimensional. It is three-dimensional and four-dimensional because of the neural network, but you also place it into the mind with it non-local, fifth-dimensional and higher. That goes into the universal mind or the quantum existence, and it sits there as a potential for physical creation later when you go there and retrieve it. It's
Yeah.
not just me saying that. That is quantum mechanics. Look into the theory of inflation. Explains very well that's how it is. So now you know that you have created something wonderful for yourself in your mind. It's in the field, it's in the universal mind. Go back and visit it every day.
It's like watering plants. You plant a seed, as I call it. It's like, okay, this is the flower garden I want. Okay, so how do we get there? We plant the seed, but we have to water it and nurture it every day to get to the field.
Absolutely, that's it. We got to keep at it every day. And what you also can do is remember the universal mind only work in present moments because of outside of the physical existence, time is not as we perceive it. The past, present, and future exist in a present moment. And if that was downloaded to us, our mind is not constructed so we can even understand that. We have to stretch it out so we can get different frames of perception, so we can go through it and we can get, yeah, this happened after that and so on. Then we can understand it. So now what you also can do, let's say this is June, you can say, I find out what you want. Let's say you want a new car. Decide what car, what it's going to look like, color. See yourself sitting there, driving it, and then place that picture let's say at a New Year's party, where you have a car full of people and they are all enjoying the car with you.
Mhm.
Because the universe works kind of in a way that it works better if it also is for more than three people. That, in fact, is universal law. So, because, well, creating something for your own ego does not work as well as creating something for the good of all. So, when you see yourself in that car and you place it at a New Year's party, and then keep visiting it. Go back and forth to that New Year's party every day. In fact, several times a day. You could do it in your meditation, or you could do it during a 2-minute thing. Let's say you're sitting at a desk, close your eyes, visualize that thing again, see yourself driving the car for maybe a couple of minutes, and then go back to what you were doing. Now you're exercising the channel from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind that goes out to the universal mind.
Mhm.
So the universal mind and the quantum existence will get in the game with you and help you create this.
Mhm.
Situations might show up that'll help you to get that car.
Yeah, yeah, because you
But
have to. Oh, I'm sorry.
we, yeah, we also have to do our part
Yeah,
in order to help make it happen.
yeah.
There is this joke. There was this guy, he kept telling his friends, I'm going to win the lottery. Oh, he was telling them every day he was telling them he was going to win the lottery. And they got sick of hearing it, so they just,
Yeah.
just quit it. And then he got home and he got on his knees and he said, God, why don't you let me win the lottery? And then this booming voice came and it said, work with me a little bit, buy a ticket. We got to do our part.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've known that. I had actually people asking me, what's the lotto numbers, Jenny? Like, really? Really?
Yeah.
If I knew the lotto numbers, I would have been picking my own lotto numbers, you know. But we have to work with it absolutely and have that positive mindset. And one thing I find too is whenever you want to manifest, I mean, I always do a vision board, of course, and whenever I manifest something, I check it off, accomplished. However, it also shows you what I find with when we write a vision board, as little time goes by and such like that, because I look at it quite often, I'm like, I thought I had wanted this or that. I got it, I manifested it,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I don't want it anymore, and I take a look at that as, you know what, you manifested it correctly. And this is how we evolve and grow because as we're evolving and growing, what we thought we had wanted, even, we realize, yeah, I manifested it, but now I want something new. So it does work, and it
Yeah.
it gives you that sense of, even what I tell certain people is write down simple things, you know what I mean, that you want to manifest and then grow it bigger and bigger and bigger. Doesn't matter how big it is. And when you start seeing even little things coming by, it changes your mindset. You start to believe because if you don't have that in your mind that it's never going to happen, it won't happen.
Hmm. Yeah. But I tell you, when it comes to the lottery numbers,
Yeah,
I have, I don't know how to explain this, but
it is complex, I
I,
know.
I yeah, I went really deep and I got a series of 5 numbers. I got them, but you got to be specific. There is one thing I did not ask. Which week?
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
the, I have the numbers, and I've been using those numbers for 2 years because I know what I got. I think is right. So I've been using them every
Yeah,
week for
yeah,
two years.
yeah.
So we'll see
Like,
what happens. But
but
I never asked for the week.
yeah, no, exactly. Like some people, they'll be like, okay, I want $1 million, let's just say. So I'll say, write yourself a check for $1 million, put it under your pillow. Let's say there's many ways. However, you have to date it. I'm going to have $1 million by this date, let's say. And you got to be realistic. You know what I mean? But you have to
Yeah,
write down the currency. $1 million, is that monopoly money? Is that Canadian, US, European pound? You have to write the currency, the date. You know what I mean? So it's very specific. You have to be so specific. I manifested. There was like 10 things I wanted for one thing. I manifested 9 things. And I'm like, okay, I got all 9 things out of 10 I manifested, but oh my God, I forgot the most simplest thing. And
yeah,
I'm like, why didn't I think of that? So, and the deal, I thought, no, this isn't going to work for me. So you have to be very, very, very specific of what you want. It's like, let's say if you're looking for a partner to manifest, and you manifested this person and all the qualities and everything you wanted, but they didn't speak your language or they weren't from your culture.
yeah,
You can learn the language or you can talk about changing cultures or if it blends, but you have to be super, super, super specific.
yeah. And you said you got to write yourself a check. I have a lamp standing right on the lamp. I have this check.
Wells Fargo Bank.
Yeah, oh, you can't see this, but I
I
wrote the
just,
check.
no,
Yeah,
I
that
can't see the
check,
check. Yeah.
no, that check is for $200 million. and I'm going to cash this one.
Yeah, when though, Augie?
Yeah.
Do you have a date on there?
Yeah, but the date is outdated, so I need to have a date on it.
2030. I heard 2030 for some reason. I don't know why. I was gonna say, did you date it for 2030? So I heard, I don't
Yeah,
know what 2030 is, but
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, you have to date it. You have to date it. You know, that's the thing. That's like when I manifested all, you know, like I had 10 things to manifest for one thing, for one specific thing. Nine of them I got, and the one it was like, oh, that's not gonna work.
yeah.
Right? So you have to be really specific. Don't rush it. You know, like there's people who say vision boards don't work, and I'm like, that's crazy. I
Hmm.
always write vision boards, and I tell you, I've had check marks, check marks, and check marks
Yeah,
as I accomplish things. You know what I mean? Even I looked at my vision board earlier this morning. I'm like, wow, you forgot to check off this and that actually that you've done. And setting
yep,
small goals, medium goals, and bigger goals.
yep.
You
That's right.
know,
Yeah.
it
For those,
works.
if you have a vision board, spend some time
Oh,
every day standing in front of it, looking at it, and loving it.
yeah. And
Now,
then that's the thing. It's like certain things, oh, I wanted to take this class or do this thing or whatever. And then you might find, as I mentioned, you know, I don't want that anymore. And that's perfectly okay because it, like I said, it just shows you, you know, where you're evolving, where you're growing, you
yeah.
know, certain things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like at least you now know that I don't want that anymore.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now, you mentioned if somebody wants a partner, here's something that I know some personally, someone that did this and it worked for her. This is for you single guys and gals out there. If you are by yourself and you sit down to have dinner, set another plate across the table. Every day, have that other plate sitting there, and then visualize somebody sitting in that chair the way you would like them to look. Sooner or later, probably sooner, there's going to be somebody filling that chair.
Yeah.
Because now you already see them in the house with you, sitting there having dinner with you. So this she did this for I think about 6 months or so, and somebody showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to trust the timing. Yeah.
Yeah, because the universe get in the game with you. They start
It
helping out.
it does, you know, because if you look back, like, you know, it's like whatever you want to manifest, you know, write it
Yeah.
all down. But sometimes people are like, well, I wanted this and this and this and this didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, so let's look back at the certain things you did manifest. Look at the timing on that. Oh, well,
Hmm.
I want to buy this house or I want to move here or the partner, whatever. Maybe the universe wants you to resolve certain situations first and end
Yeah.
certain situations first to be able to move you into the direction or whatever it is you want to get that. Because if
Yeah.
you move things and if you push and force things, you can attract all you want. And then you're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh my God, what did I do? So you have to be very careful. You can
Yeah.
attract the wrong person. You can attract something really not good for you.
Technically and actually in praxis also, when it comes to manifestation, we can create out of seemingly nothing sometimes.
Mm.
And we, Nori Love and I, we put together this mastermind here about 5 years ago, and we are still doing it. Um, to give you an example of what really can happen, there was a 2-year-old boy that we were told about that his intestines didn't work. They were crumbled up, and the stuff did not go through. So the doctor had scheduled an operation to put a colostomy bag on his stomach so he could empty the intestine. For a 2-year-old boy, and we wrapped our mastermind around him, and we saw him out running around perfectly healthy, inside a bubble of bright white light. And when he went back to the doctor, when I think either a checkup or for the surgery, the doctor did the x-ray and he said, I don't know what happened. He says, but you don't need any surgery. Everything looks good. 2 days, that's what I think all it took for him to recover from his situation that would have killed him had he not done that or put the colostomy bag in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have many different cases like that. A lady was on her deathbed in the hospital, and we wrapped our mastermind around her. The next day, she walked out perfectly healthy, and the doctor told her, you recovered so fast, there was no reason for us to keep you any longer.
Yeah.
Things happen. When you, of course, the mastermind is usually a little more powerful because of its definition. When two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind, which has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other. So now you're just not by yourself anymore. Everybody can create a mastermind, and they should. I mean, football teams, they do it all the time. They
Yeah.
visualize the game they're going to play. Church groups once in a while do it, but they should do it more often. Families should have a mastermind. Let's say that you got 4 people in the family. Sit down, decide what do we need and want as a family. Decide on it, and then start visualizing it. Start masterminding it and doing whatever you can to help it happen. And it's not going to be that long, and you're going to have what you decide on.
Yeah. Yeah. The power and tension is
Yeah.
it's so powerful, you know, and we can heal ourselves in many different ways. I mean, even I did that like many years ago. I was having problems, health problems, and my doctor said you needed a hysterectomy, and I'm like hell I do. So I went home and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And I was out my balcony and I had ravens fly over because I'm also an animal communicator, and the ravens told me exactly why this was happening. And one specifically said, go to acupuncture.
Oh,
I had never experienced that. This was many years ago. And then I thought, okay, I went my first treatment of acupuncture. She treated me and she gave me these Chinese natural herbs. I took one herb, she was take one when you get home. By the end of the night, I was cured. Like the next day, I was fine. So I went back to my doctor. I think it was like a month or 6 weeks later, you know, and he was the same thing, just like a little boy. He goes like you're fine, and I'm like, yeah, you know. So little things we can do, you know what I mean? And I mean, I've done it in other different ways, healing myself, you know. But it comes with like the mind, and it's
yeah,
so important, like so important. And yeah, I mean, if we do have other people that are on the same, you know, mindset and mind as we are at, it can be super powerful.
that's right. But it's up to us.
Oh,
Most of the
100%.
time, it's up to us to do that. Now, if we get deadly ill, we have to want to get better.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think probably most people would. But once you want to get better, that is in my mind, I haven't confirmed that with anybody that think they know anything, but if we want to get better, that is the automatic permission for someone else to intercede in our situation to help us with a healing or whatever. I hear people say that, well, you have to have permission to heal someone. If they want to get better, that should be the permission. I may have some flack on that one, but that's what I'm going by.
But though it is troggy because and especially I've talked about this for quite some time. Especially how so much energy has changed and the world and such.
Yeah.
If we're like ill, or let's say if we're not, and we're like, you know what, I'm done with this world. I've had enough. You can attract yourself to get sick. So
Hmm.
it's really important to watch your thoughts. Like watch your thoughts. If you're like, I give up on life, I'm like whatever it is, you can, go to the doctor, not too long after. Oh yeah, we should just check you for blood tests. Oh, you have cancer, you have like whatever it is. So you really have to watch it because certain people, it's like if you truly want to go, like pass on, all of a sudden the universe can be like, okay, and something will happen. So you really have to watch your mindset right now. Like I had a friend that was going through cancer and she was going through chemo. The first chemo, I went with her. I mean, I knew she wasn't going to make it anyways, but I went with her to support her and try to. And she says here, the first treatment, she goes, this chemo is going to kill me. And I said, stop that right now. You have to put your mind of how you're healing through this,
Yeah.
how the power of the universal force is healing your body, mind, and spirit. Because if you go in there, oh, this is going to kill me or this isn't going to work, it won't work.
Yeah. That's the thing.
You know, Augie, do you
That's the
meditate?
thing.
Like, do you meditate? Like, I know you do, but do you meditate? Like, how do you meditate? Because there's so many different ways to do it.
Well, a lot of people say that, when you meditate, you sit down, think about nothing, and whatever happens is good, which is probably true. But isn't that kind of getting in the back of the cab, wanting to go somewhere? You get in the back of the cab and tell the cabbie, let's go.
Like, where do I
Next
go?
thing he's going to say, where? That's why when I meditate, I beforehand, when I sit down and get ready to, I think about something that I want to happen. And I fix that in my mind, and then I go into meditation. So that follows me into the meditation. The brainwave pattern comes down, and I have easier access to the subconscious mind and the universal mind. So that request goes right into the universal mind and get placed there. And I've done that for decades like that. And I have been able to create some really nifty things. So I know for me that works. Though if you sit down and think about nothing and everything that happens is good, that's okay. It is good because you relieve stress and it's lower blood pressure and a lot of good things are happening in the body. So don't discount it. It's perfectly, that's transcendental meditation. That's
So if
I I outgrew that.
if somebody said to you, Augie, I've never meditated before ever, how do I meditate, Augie? What would you tell them? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, I direct my meditation. I first decide on what I want, and then I go into meditation and I bring that with me so the subconscious and the superconscious mind can work on it while I meditate. I think
Um,
that's the simplest way to explain it.
no, I know. Like, I mean, like what I normally tell somebody too is, because there's so many different ways to meditate.
Yeah.
I would tell somebody, okay, first of all, why don't you try doing like a guided meditation first? You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Where there's somebody else talking, you close your eyes. Because I used to teach meditation groups here once a month and such with groups of people. And one of especially it's like you take a look, because there's beginners, there's people of all different frequencies and such, you know, and it's like doing a guided meditation. Somebody can just sit back. I just sit back and just listen. Just
Yeah.
listen. You know what I mean? Because it's like at least they're listening to you, not everything else that's going on around them. You
Yeah.
know, it takes time. It takes time. Some people say, "Well, I meditated. I didn't see nothing. I didn't get anything." And it's like, it's a practice. It takes time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I
And
know you
then,
meditate. Yeah,
yeah, people also say, I can't meditate. Thoughts are coming in. I'm thinking about absolutely everything.
yeah.
Now there is a trick to dull the mind so there are no thoughts coming in. It is as simple as falling off of a log. Maybe even easier. Because I should know that. I used to own a forestry. But what you do, you sit down and look straight ahead at the wall. Find a spot on the wall. Then cross your eyes just a little bit. But stare at the spot first, and then the thoughts are coming in, they're leaving, and there's activity going on. And then cross your eyes a little bit, and you will notice within about 2 seconds the thoughts are gone. Because now the mind is busy doing something that does not take thought to do. And this works basically 100% of the time. And it's so simple. Once you cross your eyes, now that mind is quiet, now you can go into meditation. My martial art master told me this over 50 years ago, and I've done it ever since. Well, lately I don't need to, but I use that a lot.
Well, it's very helpful. You know, I mean, especially somebody just kind of starting out and they're like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
do you believe that God manifests things for us, or do you believe that you manifest things for yourself?
Well, then the question is, what is God?
Yeah, no, exactly, exactly, exactly.
When I was a little kid back in Europe, in Norway, my mom dragged me to church every so often, and they told me that God was this really old guy. He had long white beard, he had long white hair, and a white mustache. And he knew, sitting in the clouds up there somewhere, and he knew everything and everyone, and he watched and controlled everything. And if you did something he didn't like, he got mad at you. That's what I was told. Of course, after a few years, I figured it out. Nah, can't be right. So now we go back to the word God. The word God was given a meaning it was never meant to have. The word God comes from the old Sumerian language. It meant great leader. So if somebody tells me that, well, God came and talked to me, then I have no problem with that. A great leader came and talked to you. That's the physical aspects of God. But there is a spiritual aspect, and that is an energetic, self-aware, universal conscious field of energy that has everything and can create everything out of what the energy is in the field. Now, there are people that have, near death experiences, and they have experienced this. You find yourself in an environment with an enormous feeling of love, and you may have other spiritual entities around you that you are communicating with, and they're telling you something like, it's not your time, you should not be here, you got to go back.
Mhm.
They made it to that source. I don't know if it's the source, but that is what they would call heaven. The real heaven is There's only bliss and love there. And for those of you that went to Vietnam during the war and you killed people over there and come back and the preacher telling you that, you boy, you're going to hell because of what you did, don't believe him. The reason I'm saying that is because I know. I know a guy here in Tucson. He did just that. He was a sniper for the U.S. Army in Vietnam, and he had, I think, about 20 or 21 confirmed kills of people he did not even know. When he came back, he went to church, he told his minister what he had done, and he said, well, that was pretty bad. You probably are going downstairs after you die to hell, you know. And then the guy had a near-death experience, and he never saw anything like that. It was all love. His parents were there, and it was wonderful after he dropped the body. But he was told, I'm sorry, you got to go back. You got more work to do. So he came back. Now he is not afraid to die anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe that's why people have near-death experiences. I mean, I've had several near-death experiences myself, and I believe one of the reasons, there's many, but I believe that it's for us to share our stories so other people won't be scared. You know, let's say if they're a terminal illness and they know they're going to be passing soon, it helps that person, you know, find peace in some way a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. And another thing too is that somewhere in the biblical writings it says that as the tree fall, it will lie. And that means when you die, your education stops until you are the re-education back there. So whatever you know, all the way up to the point where you drop the body, that is what you enter the afterlife with, and that's it. If you are an atheist, you have no spiritual knowledge whatsoever. You may end up finding yourself there, oh, boy, was I wrong.
yeah,
Now what do I do?
yeah,
And they end up being what we call ghosts.
yeah, yeah.
But the people that has a little spiritual knowledge, they probably will experience the sayings that no one dies alone. There's usually someone there to receive them and say, hey, you graduated, boy, good deal, let's go home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you could meet one person that you have never met before, who's either passed on or still alive, who would it be and why?
Well, I would meet one person. That is a tough one. That's kind of like saying, which one is your favorite child?
Yeah, yeah. I know there's so many. Yeah, but
Yeah, but I have a non-physical person that I visit with ever so often. I would probably go back to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a hard question because it's like there's so many amazing people in all different dimensions or who have
Yeah,
passed on and still alive yet. So some
yeah.
people they know right away, right? Like some people they're like, oh, that's easy, you know.
Yeah, there would be fun meeting Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That would be fun.
yeah, yeah. So if you could change anything in the world, what would it be? Like something, one thing, one thing, one thing. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
Well, I would go after the energy field that everybody is submerged in based on what they create by themselves. Because raising the vibration of all the living creatures on this planet can be done. Because I know an avatar is able to raise the vibration in a group There is some meditation that was done in Washington, D.C. I think you know about that one. They meditated for a week, and the the crime rate in the city, without doing anything different, dropped something like 34%
Yeah.
during that week. And the police, I think it was the police chief, and came to the people that were doing the meditation and said, "What are you doing? Something is working here," because he was notified about that they were going to do this, and he didn't believe that they could do anything, but they did.
Yeah.
So if we got together in a global mastermind, we could raise the vibration of all the people, and we could have a better life for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So what for you, what and what is the best way for you to find peace? You know, because so many people are like, I'm so scattered, I'm so like ungrounded. How, where's peace? How do I find peace? What, like, how do you find peace yourself?
Uh, well, that may be a little easier for me because I don't, I don't allow stress in my life.
Yeah,
If it shows up, it'll take me about a minute and it's gone.
yeah,
But that is not normal because I've been practicing for decades.
yeah,
So I would say sit down, take 5 or 6 deep breaths, close your eyes, and try to keep all the thoughts out.
yeah,
Just a short moment like that can clear your mind, and it can drop your blood pressure,
yeah,
and it can give you a little more peace. Once you know what it feels like, you may want to do it more often.
yeah, yeah,
But it's a conscious action. This is really simple. Didn't say easy, but it's simple.
yeah. It takes time to practice. You know, are
Yeah.
you writing any more books, Augie? Like, are you in the works of writing anything like that's going to be coming out? Because I know you're
Yeah,
like you're
I
pretty busy,
am
right?
I am working at a sequel to this one, but
Yeah.
this is the one: spiritual science, higher conscious thinking, and how to access the universal consciousness.
And people can get
And
that on your website too?
yes, but easier probably to Amazon. They are just as quick to get it out on Amazon. Just put my name in there and then go click on the picture there, and then you can see all the subjects that is written about. I wrote this book for the doers and the ones that want a better life, because in
Yeah,
there I teach you how to use your mind in ways you normally would think would
yeah,
be impossible.
yeah, yeah. So you're writing a sequel for that?
I it's a slow going. I don't have much time
No, I
for it.
know, I know, but like, just
There is one in the works.
okay, perfect, perfect. Because I know you're always up to something. You know what I mean? It's like Augie
Yeah.
is like check all the boxes.
Well,
Yeah,
you got to do something. I work 12, 15 hours a day anyway. It's just,
yeah.
just
I know, I know you do.
uh, you got to do something.
No, that's right. I get it. I get it. So if
Yeah.
there's any, because we're winding up here, if there is any last thing, let's say that you'd like to share with
Yeah. I
everyone, like
said,
what would it be? Like what is Augie's message?
first of all, I do want to, I have no shame. I got to
No.
tell you about this. So,
Yes. Oh, yes.
spiritual science, that book, it will teach you things that will make your life better.
Yeah.
I talk about anything from photographic memory. If you're in college, boy, you better get the book because it'll talk about how you can get photographic memory too. And of course, that also take practice, but it's simple to do. So now another thing is communication interdimensionally. I explain how to do. In fact, in the back of it, I have a whole section on time travel and how you actually can do it. I think I'm probably the only one I know that have pictorial evidence. I got pictures from a trip that I did, and I got pictures from that time travel trip. It's on the website on
Yeah,
broadcastteamalpha.com. It's in the picture gallery. I think it's page 15. You will find it there. But click on the picture, you can read the description on how I did it.
yeah, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying also, I am not worried about the future. The
Yeah,
future is going to be good, though there could be, unless we are flipping into a different timeline, there could be about a month or so when nothing works. So we may have to prepare for that and prepare in whichever way you can and want to.
yeah,
There are preppers out there that'll tell you how to do that, but watch for it. But once we're beyond that, oh boy, it's gonna be beautiful. The There will be an extraterrestrial present. In fact, they're already here. They're walking down the street with us. We don't know them because they look like us, some of them.
yeah, yeah,
And also, uh, do not settle for whatever misery you have in your life. It can be changed. Use the principles in that book or to create in your mind what you want to have happen and keep visiting that image. And don't let people tell you you can't.
yes, a
That
hundred,
that's their limitation. It's not yours.
100%. Because I've had people where, oh, I've got these dreams and this vision because it's their dream. And then they
Yeah.
share that with someone, and that person is so negative, they'll give you all the negative reasons why it's not going to happen. That
Yeah.
person's dreams got. I had somebody I knew that had booked the trip that they wanted to go on for years. Everything was booked. And someone told them, why would you go there? And immediately they started going down all of these fear tactics, negative. They canceled their trip. They wanted this for years. They canceled their trip. And I'm like, oh my God, nothing happened. Nothing
Yeah.
happened. Like, so like if I'm working on projects or whatever, what are you working on, Jenny? Stuff. That's it. You know what I mean? So now, Augie, again, where can someone read you or where can somebody reach you? What is the best way for somebody that can
Well,
reach you and find you?
the best way to send me emails is through the website. Go to the contact feature. I'll get the website and I'll get back to you. If you want to associate with me specifically, we do the mastermind meetings on Sunday at 2 o'clock East Coast time. And send me an email to the mastermind connection at gmail.com. I'll get the email, I'll send you some information and a link to come and join us, and you get to experience what a mastermind can do. Maybe you want something that you want to create for yourself. We'll help you do it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Augie. I mean, I could talk to you for hours. Like I could do 100 shows with you very easy, and who knows?
Yeah.
They'll probably be different shows and different topics that,
Yeah.
I'll have you back on like 100%, and I'm always so grateful whenever we share time with each other. It's always so much fun and it goes by so fast. And
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone, of course, who is tuned in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel here to get videos and all different kinds of content. And keep in mind, if you do have a story or you want something to share with me, the best way is send it through my website, soulworkwithjennig.com. I'm listening. And again, thank you, Augie, for taking time out to spend
You're so
some time.
welcome.
Yeah. Namaste,
This was,
everyone.
yeah, and in the words of Spock,
Yeah.
live long and prosper.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect. Thank you
Yeah.
everyone for tuning in. I'm Jeni Ji. Thanks again, and we'll catch you all on the next episode of Soul to Soul Connections with Jeni Ji. Namaste.